There have been several reactions, obviously, which have been coming in. I'm going to read out a couple of those and get you to perhaps respond to them. Moa Moitra has tweeted, she says, good, bad or ugly, the government doesn't tell us what to watch, ban censorship. Hashtag ban censorship. She says there should be none. How would you respond to that?
I don't want to respond. I mean, I think we should look at this particular film rather than make a blanket statement about censorship. Yes, I agree censorship is bad. What really took place as far as this BBC documentary is concerned was that it was a premeditated hatchet job. It wasn't really a piece of journalism, but I mean that can be dismissed as editorial freedom to do what they want to. But I think far more important was this, that there was a certain disdain, a condescension towards the various judgments of the courts, particularly the Supreme Court. And I think the very casual and dismissive attitude which these people had, as if suggesting that the courts were somehow politically biased and in favor of the ruling dispensation. Mm-hmm. And I think that, to my mind, was a conclusion, a step too far. And it was really that which the government was objecting to. Right. And I think a lot of people, including me, who participated in this, not knowing that this was going to be their ultimate objective. I mean, that became quite clear in the nature of the questions were posed, the questions which were posed. But I think really that's the main objection to that, whether that should result in censorship or that should result in strictures. But I think more than anything else, this was a way of making the government's displeasure felt, because this was really not an official document. This is not an official
and we'll talk about that.
Government thing.
We'll talk about the government reaction, but again, another reaction, Tavleen Singh has tweeted, she says,
look, I don't want to get into individual people's tweets, you know.
I think it's the idea behind the tweet which reflects a lot of voices. So I'll take out a name.
No, because that might reflect your voice, Vishnu.
Fair enough.
Let's get
so that's fine. Fair enough. I think the point, and this is in fact the question which I'm asking on my program as well, is if India can be destabilized by a BBC documentary, are we truly on our way, to becoming a superpower, something we aspire for?
Who has said India is being destabilized?
No, so that's the question.
I think India was undermined rather than destabilized.
If we are not being right, fair enough. So that's your answer.
I think the question is certain institutions of India, very important institutions, were undermined. That was it. It's not India has been destabilized. I don't think anybody really seriously believed that India was destabilized. People are putting words into people's mouths by saying India is destabilized. That's never the case.
No, but the grounds for the banning of the documentary,
and what should you do about it?
Swapan, the grounds for banning the documentary were, one of the grounds was that it would have a destabilizing impact on us, on our country.
That may well be the official version of it, but the point is very simply this, that here was a documentary made by a non-official body. Let's be clear about it. This was a film made for the BBC by an independent producer.
Yes.
Yeah, the BBC just bought it and gave it its own platform. What are we supposed to do about it? What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to just ignore it? Or should there be a certain step which should be taken which expresses our displeasure about it? No, that was the question. And I think that the displeasure was expressed through the thing that, okay, this is banned. Now, I mean, it's a ban, an item which is banned, which is not really in circulation in India.
No, but Swapan, how would you therefore respond to those who say that why make a big deal out of it? Is there anything tremendously new in this film?
Well, what is new about it is the packaging which has been done after there's been a final closure of the event.
Right.
That's really what's new.
And you believe that the response
not in terms of the allegation. What had happened is there was a certain closure to this very unfortunate series of incidents which happened in 2002. And you resurrected it and you tried to put a gloss over it with a certain idea that this would have, this would create certain political ripples in India. Now, whether that's going to happen or not is not to my mind. I don't think it will really happen. But I think it was necessary to also to express from the government's point of view a certain measure of very, very strong displeasure, not only, in particular directed at the BBC, which again, in this case was not an official body, it's a private body. What you wanted to do was you wanted to express that displeasure. Maybe there could have been other ways of expressing that displeasure. I don't know.
No, but I'm asking your opinion.
My opinion was that it was necessary from an official point of view to express a very, very strong displeasure about the manner in which they'd gone about this.
So do you accept the argument made by some that this is an example of the BBC's colonial mentality and that there was a conspiracy, this is part of a conspiracy to defame us at various levels?
Well, whether it's a colonial mindset or not is something which I leave for the moment. What I think
No, but why leave that, Chopunda? The reason is that's what everybody is saying.
It's not something I would use. It's
Okay.
not a term I would use.
Okay.
What I would use is the word is condescension.
Right, because...
Okay, now that condescension might have a history which incorporates colonialism. But I wouldn't necessarily identify and hone in on the word colonial per se. That's a very slightly different way of looking at the whole thing.